let's go. Hey guys. Okay, first I need to do the farm first and then straightaway story.
私は指揮官の翼です。指示をお願いします。最悪はすべて光明の中へ消え失せなさい。苦難はここで燃やし尽くします。光明の中へ消え失せなさい。希望が怪人から生まれ変わります。願いは彼方へと飛び続けます。
This code is so cute. I can't stop. Very cute. Okay, let's try quick match then. Never mind. Never mind. Let's just. Work on the stories, I guess. Rawr. As the last corrupted falls, the blue hull space falls silent. Several tropical fish stare at the uninvited guests through the thick glass house of them. Threat cleared. No more hostile signals detected. How is the lie detector running? It's settled to upload the scans automatically at its set intervals. Look. Chaco looks down at her terminal and finds a new image document there. However, there is also multiple obstruct interfere with the signals with the detector range. There are no way however yeah. Chico nods and continue asking. How the hacking on the surveys authorized goes? She has no answer, just the sound of Purification Force member moving around. What's the status on the camera? Chico raised her voice. Why are you kicking me, Norris? She can hear the mumbling from the back of the team. Chico sighed, frustrated by how badly her team is working together. Almost every member of Purification Force is used to work alone. There has never been an operation that requires a team of more than 5 ever since Purification Force was forced. Not to mention the Purification Force was entitled many members from the other squad, as well as a new recruitment fresh out of school, leading to the current situation. I'm sorry, were you asking for me, Vice Captain? Chico takes a deep breath and calms herself, asking the same question the third time. Have we gotten access to the camera? Copy that, Vice Captain. The hacking operation hasn't been completed yet the moment. A brief commotion of panic comes from the back and a young construction is staring at the terminal, his fingers flying all over the keyboard. His name is printed on the custom terminal, Dilpora. The security system has here isn't usually the popular encrypted method from the Golden Age. It's a bit difficult to crack it from the outside. But if you give me another 10 minutes, looking at the corpse on the floor, her injured teammate, she could contemplate for the moment. That's long that we can afford. We can counter 5 corrupt attacks already. Who can say when's the next one coming? How long will it take if the hack it from the count point with a mission road? Copy that, Vice Captain. If I have an access to admission room, I can travel the virus, directly reset and system authorize. I'm adjusting our objective priorities, making our way to the administration room, and access to the cameras. And stop saying copy that before every sentence, rookie. We don't need your habit from boot camp in the field. Understood, Vice Captain. But our mission here is to research the Red Tide worship cult, Scarlet Revelation. I got tricked here by Ascended. The higher-ups won't be happy if we get sidetracked and get them killed. If they were indeed here by access as intel, they could have monetized right now. It's already usual that a Copperfield aquarium is still running. We should at least get a security camera on our side. Pack up, team. Check your team ammos and prepare to go. Roger. Hey, stop spacing out. Get your stuff and be ready to go. Ah, don't startle me, Norris. Why on earth did you apply for purification if you're not easily scared? And what's wrong with you today? You can usually hack into small cameras like this just with your toes. Are you getting stage frightened joining a big operation for the first time? Or is it the customs term I gave you not your liking? I remember that you used to need to the same pillow or you could sleep. Well, aren't you still using the sleeping pod 3? Does it still apply the terminal as well? My toes? Stop exaggerating. The clone is shaking his head, bombarded by his terrible friends. Unless question. The terminal is great. Like I said, the encryptions here is uncommon. Silver looks as confused as if he says that. But most Assistant Copperfield left the surface use the same corrupted method. This is the first time I've seen something like this. Maybe the guy was getting creative, and that day, or perhaps the assistant count altered a corruptive. Haha. Della shivers quickly, covered Nor's mouth. Knocking on the wood, I don't want to see anyone ascended today. You won't pardon the purification now. Sooner or later, you'll run into them. Norris easily removed his hold and rested a hand on his shoulder, instead peeking to him earnest. This is the part I growing up, you know. You talk like you have met and ascended before. Tipper knows that the person before him had not survived an encountered with a ascended with impact speech model. Tipper would have had a disturbance his own audio module, and he never heard end of it. Ha! Even though a new ascended up every other day, and many of them shown up during Kuowo, I still haven't met one. I'm kind of lucky, I guess. My luck has continued, right? What are you still doing there, Norris? I have to go. Norris pat David on his shoulder as if he walked past his friend. Don't you worry, even if we run into Ascended, you specialized a rare in purification force. You will be safe with us if the front. And Vice Captain is with us too. Not the best reputation, sure, but her skills on the battlefield are unmatched. So stop being such a sourpuss. How can you tell how I feel through my mask? Haha, I know how you feel even if you are not an abstract piece of art. A bullet lands right next to where Norris is standing. The squad leaders urging Norris to return to his post is pointing a gun at him with a smoking still coming out of it at the barrel. Norris! Crap. I'm coming. By the way, I request a transfer to your squad after this mission. We can watch each other's back in the future. With that, Norris rushed in the front of the troop. Diplomat Thine looks at Norris and getting further and further away. Don't you jinx it. Packing up his terminal, Dermot looked up casually. find a tropical fish tanking, staring at troops' purification force. This antique of facility from a golden age is still... Oh no. The antiques of facility from the golden age is still running without an issue, even to this day. Wait, hold on. Okay, out of nowhere, the blimp suddenly wonder if the fish is considered the human some allies trapped. Member of the Scarlet Revelation believe the dead reborn in the red tie, since it restrains their memories data consciously. The red ties project are considered echo of their life. The difference is their form, living habits, make it impossible for them to communicate. Just how fish cannot understand human cannot understand the lives of red tide. Wait a minute. Why is there a fish in there? The facility might have been running, but how can the fish survive in this long without anyone to look after? as well as to maintain the graveyard, but the graveyard nonetheless, there should be nothing but a rotten corpse inside. David walked away from his team, slowly walking towards a group of fish that has been starting at him. The closer he gets, the closer the fish approach. A thousand of fish adhered to the glass. On the one side, their eyes formed a giant insert, like a compound's eyes. Their gas between the eyeball filled their colorful bodies. The thousands of eyes slowly turned traces. Trickle's footsteps, Trickle's reflected in them, gradually expand, twist, and transform. As the water moves and the water moves, the surface itself in his eyes begins to melt like a butter, but his bone, blood, and flesh crumble away, leaving empty sack of skin flooding a bit. feel his feet anymore. He cannot feel his feet anymore. The verge of humanoid shaped figure approached the glass wall that separated water from the air. He cannot. Wait, what? He can. The closer he gets, the more Bliss' body is screaming. Akka, his conscience will be liberated from its cage. For the sky of the freedom, his body will break the chain that bound him and spawn a pair of wings. Just a little bit closer. Bianca! Her blurred conscience slowly rised, her sense of self-reestablishment. Dust-covered corpse lie underneath her feet, but her faint light from the lamp is her hand is slowly dying, and the projector in her vision module are dissolving into the air. How are you feeling, Bianca? The projection overlapped with the figure before her. For a brief second, she cannot recognize who that is. Calibration her vision module, Bianca finds Lucia standing before her. Next to Lucia is human, while the other member of this operation are standing further away, keeping them watch. I'm okay. Were you the one terminate the Phantom Trace, Commander? Yeah. She looked at now darkened the lamp and the form. Your mind was extremely unstable back then. The deep mind connection might not make it in time. So I thought her to stop the trace first. This is when Bianca realized that her mind is currently connected in triangulation through the special network. Was her mind a deficit so severe that she cannot even notice her earlier? A terminal assessment, Commander. Timing. After viewing some event that took place here through the Phantom Trace, I began to experience hallucination. Looking at the merged handful of bionic fish is a giant fish tank. Bianca is certain the thousands of tropical fish she saw earlier were her hallucination. My mind has been stable now. You can stop the deep mind connections, Commander. Alright. As the link is disconnected, Bianca looked the lamp shaped the Phantom Trace back on her belt. Compared to the spear of FOS, this trace has become much higher risk of mind dimension. You should really rely on it less, Bianca. I agree with Lucia. At least now we know what's the longest we can use to trace. As Vishla has mentioned, if we can stabilize the mind through the deep mind connections in time, there is no fear of mind development. Don't take it unnecessary risk. Don't worry, I'll just use it responsibly. This is too hasty. We're unprepared for this mission and this new frame. Babylon, 9 o'clock in the morning. Thank you for your hard work on the last mission. You mentioned in your report that Litos has some unique inside the red ties. He seemed to believe that lives taken by the red tide aren't completely gone. They might live on the other factors from. This seems to be match for what Noah said. I suspect that the incident at the Copperfield Aquarium is working off the ascendant. Copperfield Aquarium? You heard me. That's where you're going next. The truth is, the Ascendant aren't just targeting constructions with their rumors. They also swarm some scavengers group that hold similar ideals. The projection on the bridge suddenly disappeared in large amounts of intel and imagine. Skull Revelations. It is the new group that believes the red tie can reinsure the dead. From the testimony, we gathered they were a small group of 30 before gradually expanding into the group of thousands. The original 30s that started the group called themselves the 13 Revelations. They haven't done anything as fantastically as a punishing. Sorry, I need some water. They haven't done anything fanatic as pushing on lures people into the red tie yet. But recently, 13 Revelation all received invitation from unknown Ascended, one after another. The Ascended promised rebirthing through the red tie if they show up at the specific location and pass the Ascended test and filtering. Even though the 30 only considered the red birth through the red tie at the tail of the solar sides, any comfort they could find into life at these desperate times. Most of them died on their journey, but the Purification Force only found dead bodies and handful of survivors when they arrived. Only one of the third Revelation survived. The picture of the woman with a dark eyeshadow appeared in the projector. Grace last appeared at Copperfield Aquarium. Weren't the Ascendant trying to turn people into one of them? Noah meant that it was not human, but literally who turned him into a construction. You do not know how and why the Ascendant seems to be rejected. Not really. The situation is very different from Noel's. They're all tested negative for the Tantive, and we thought that the technology used a phantom was more or less identical of our mind. In theory, even Ascended could turn them into construction. Nonetheless, we couldn't just watch our own worst sacrificed for some Ascended conspiracy. We sent a team of Purification Force to investigate the aquarium, but they were also disappeared. Even Chico? Yes. This is Chico. We no longer detected any corrupted signals at the entrance, and their surrounded 1 kilometers area. Begin the investigation on the Scarlet Revelation app. That is the last recording we received. We want you to continue Chico's mission and investigate Scarlet and what Ascended were after Copperfield Aquarium, and try to rescue as many survivors as possible. Understood. Any question? I have one, but it's non-related. What is it? It's about Lee. There are so many questions you want to answer, but no idea where. How Ashley seems to know that you want to ask the mention of Lee. I understand you're worried, but I can't tell you too much yet. But I want you to know that we are doing what we're doing to prevent another Imperia. The real hope is in the people who create all them. Your words, Parliament didn't just impact people's opinion on a zero engine on the moon. So trust our people and give more time. I'm gonna get ready. The mood in the transfer crafted daily. Most of the members of the purifications are not speaking. Rarely, briefing interacted quickly revives silence. You'll recognize some face from previous missions, but some you do not know. They seem to be new recruits who joined and purification force. But you know, perhaps more surprising by the captain? Bianca, your frame. Bianca is here in the complete new form after being severely injured in the previous battle with the agent. You are not surprised to find her as captain of the squad. You are surprised to find her using the frame, but you've never seen instead of Vertice's frame while the Zero frame is under repair. Even her bow has replaced with sword staff. Our mission is taking the place indoor this time. Since bow isn't the most optimal weapon of choice, I provided alternate equipment. Notice confusion in your eyes. She explained the reason why she changed her weapon. By the way, Bertie asked me to give this to you. Bianca handed you a familiar looking connection device. This is a proven deep mind connection, right? Why do we need it? I'll explain later. Please wear your seatbelts first, Commander. Phantom Trace? That's right. It's the new technology, the core of the Sigma frame. According to the Bianca, the lamp-shaped Phantom Trace can help her reconstruct the past in the set of the area. The spear of FCO, the Grave Raven, could do the same as long as they are a functional digital device on the scene if they are all traces in full. But unlike the spear of FCO, the Phantom Trace can read part of the data stored with the punishing virus before decepting it with enchantment mission of the spear. Limited by the construction hardware, we cannot perform the same kind of analysis simulator as we dedicate machine as much as like. However, it is easily infected by the punishing virus, which is limited to mobile. The sphere of FCO, as someone invests, can be used by construction, but it only works on the data stored inside the functionality digital device. The Phantom Trace is filled the grasp between them, given how the surface filled with the punishing virus. We can use these traces to figure out what happened to the area in the past. So the punishing virus is capable of storing the data. Now I think about it, the red tide projection have proved to show similar traits. According to the researchers, they are having investigate this properly of the punishing virus. For a long time, data bank below we have red tie was first, but it wasn't until known reason appeared that gave the final piece of the puzzle. Using the Phantom Trace will build the reason. Although you do not understand how the Phantom Trace works, it is clear to you that deciphering information from the punishing virus is not easy as clicking open the documents from the terminal. Yes, if a deep mind connections isn't established after running the trace for a certain amount of time, it can lead to permanent damage and devastate to the mind. And given the process, establishing deep mind connections while the trace is running exactly is heavy toll on the commander's usual. How long do we have? We don't know yet. You don't know? Hold on. Bianca, has the statement been calibrated and tested the simulator? Noah's only arrived at Babylon a while ago. If the research were able to complete the phantom trace after Noah's appearance, then stigma must have not have been made for long. Given how urgent the situation is, this frame has only been briefly tested and calibrated, but we are certain that it won't damage my mind when we are not using the phantom. As for the trace itself, there wasn't suitable test verge of Babylon, and it was too late to test it on the ground. You cannot help but clutch your fist so it's tightened your nails can almost pierce your palm. Their real hope is the people who create all of them. Your words are not the parliament did not just impact the people's opinion on the 0 point engine on the moon. So trust our people and give them more time. You almost have to squeeze your words out through the clenched teeth. President Hassan and wouldn't have agreed this. Who made the Sigma, Bianca? Bianca closed her eyes and does not speak until your fist eventually relaxed. It was Colonel, Commander. They have been researching it since the punishing virus appeared. Chapter 20 Across the Ruined Sea. Oh my god. Okay. I want to take a little break. So let's just do the farming event. Oh, fairy live. Oh, I want to know that. Let's see this. Oh. I got it lucky. Oh, let's see. Oh, so cute. Cute. I wonder what's her fairy story. In the abstract of the usual pass-by, the quiet hall appears more fragile, frigid than ever with the cold light that illuminate the place. Standing alone in the middle of the passway for a good few moments, you finally remember what you came to do. It's about what I'm going to do after graduation. Walking through the same pathway you're taking only too many times. You reach certain office you cannot be more familiar with before you know it, right before you press the doorbell. However, you hear a weighing voice coming from inside room. Come on in. The three green flashing later, the electronic lock unlock allows the alley door to part to either side. Good day, sir. Walking into the minimal decorated office, you see the man shuttering off the sand table he was using for planning. I want to talk about your plans after graduation, he says without a moment hesitate. I'm not going to stick my nose into your business, but I need to know your reasons behind your decision as your instructor. Why did you turn down Commander Central invitations and apply to be a frontline commander at the task force? The true eyes staring right at you now are the same eyes that has been watching every single student since you entered the school. You sense neither encouragement nor discontent from his tone, but a solemnness and gravity. There is no doubt that those eyes will see right through any petty lies and excuse you come up with, because you can feel the word shaking violently as you open your mouth to speak. Commander, could you? And then darkness ensues. Opening your eyes, you find yourself in the lounge with Liv, standing right next to you, looking at you worried expressionly. She has one hand on your shoulder while holding a medicine device with the other. The screen of the table shows a report of making. The first half of it seems normal enough, but second half is literally the string of the gambled letter and symbol, a tail sign that whatever was typical landed on the keyboard with their face. Rubbing your silently numb face, you returned your gaze to Liv. What are you doing sleeping here? Commander, a little too tired, I guess. Don't worry, I was just checking your nap. None of the words put Liv's mind at ease. You put up your hand in defense, seeing Liv all concerned about you. And I thought I have a few checkups done too. Liv, can I ask you to do me a favor? Swiftly your hand backward little and remember to relax. Completely the check up in breeze, Liv let out a sign of relief. How long do I have, Doc? Is everything good? It depends on how you manage your health, Commander. Going to sleep now, for example, might be helpful. Liv said with a smile. I still got work. Well, let me help you with the paperwork. You can go to sleep earlier if we finish everything ahead of the time. Now your mind rehab session for the day is complete. You weren't late for today rehab session, right? Of course not. With it, both you and Liv break into smile. For the time being, neither of you is in any condition to fight what with the degenerate of your muscles, and occasionally migrate occurred in Liv's mind. With the help of your exoskeleton, you taking apart a few non-combat assessments. Except such assessments don't come by every day. And an exoskeleton is but short-term solution in blurring the picture of the masking of full recover. The war has turned white hot, and you know for the fact that Lucia and Lee are far too complex, and they can't stay Babylon with Liv and you. You want to be at the front line fighting with the team, but decide to stay behind to perform a task working while rehabilitation instead after being convinced by them. I wonder what happened to Lee and Lucia, though to cause no hiccups to the wall, Lee and Lucia always make it a point to only contact you when they are back at their base for maintenance. According to them, they have seen small-scale victories in their combat zone. We just have to trust them. We need to try our best is what we can do. Yes. Having worked off the negative vibes, you find yourself concentrate once again. As you are going ahead to delete a string of garbled letters and symbols with a deleting keys, you reach out for a coffee cup sitting next to you. Yet, much to your surprise, you touch a warm hand instead of a coffee cup. How about something else for a change, Commander? Liv passes you a different cup, giving off white steam. The cup has amber-colored tea sitting in instead. What is it? This is a decapitated herb tea. You should refresh from consuming any more cafe for the day, given that you already consumed 180 ml. Liv explained in a serious tone. Probably best to listen to the expert here, since she's the one taking care of the team health. Taking a sip of tea, you can taste the warm fragment of the liquid musk. It's weighing down your throat before it reached your chest and blossom bloom instantly. Easily, you're the most pent up fatigue from work. Liv, on the other hand, has taken a seat across from you and become shortly through the beginning of report. The fainting glow screen, the sounds of keystrokes, the fragment of the tea, and the Liv working away at the report. The room is quiet and peaceful. Seemingly have nothing saved for these left in it. It's been so long since you last felt the same ease of the mind. I need you to go over some parts of this report, Commander. Sure. This is the last one. You go over the report before the signed your ID number on it. The whole process of sorting through the documents was supposed to take through the entire afternoon. Yet here you are, having reached the end of it in the under 2 hours with the two of you working on. Boy, that was fast. Pouring into your tea into the now empty cup, Liv appears of it as she keeps her eye fixing the global scale. What are you looking for? I'm trying to pinpoint Lucia and Lee. mean, because I missed their call last night from last night. It's not your fault, though. An episode of Migraine hits Liv out of the blue, right before Lucia and Lee dials in the last night, plumbing her mind, which hasn't even made a full recovery yet, into extremely unstable state. After stabilizing her condition with the cable you carried and deep mind connection you managed to establish before things went out of hands, you put your exoskeleton round up to Star of Life with Liv in your arm. Liv was still under treatment when Lucia and Liv dialed in. Based on their calling from last night, staff listed resource provided and engagement stats, all the information about certain oh god. Staff will list the resource provide engagement state. All information about certain base popping up when you put your finger on it. This should be it. Lucia and Lee's names on the staff list, with the two short lines precede their name requisite. Frames damage 15.32. Infection 0.0. Based on their battle report, the two seems to have fought a branch of Red Tie on their own without the warning of the support type construct. They put the indicated beacon in place during their battle with hetero creatures, while the beacon had only minimized effort in gear. Based on they managed to sever the branch with their accused attack. If only I were there too. Liv keeps her eyes fixed on the very first line of the report. It is briefly mentioned the resource the base needs more, with a special note side for all area help support type. I'm sure you'll able to get back in no time, and that if managed to improve deep mind connection. Deep mind connection helped to stabilize the migraine coming from Lid's mind, as was working the rest of his team figuring out a way to establish and connect remotely without cables. That we'll give it a try soon, right? Graveway will be back on the road whole as soon as we have technical barriers taken care of. Nodded her hand, however, Liv suddenly looked troubled from what seemed to be abrupt truth. By the way, Commander, I understand that Professor Hippocrates asked you to exercise your body, but I still suggest you steer clean of ground missions before you make a full recovery. I'll focus on I'll try to. Liv's eyebrows frowned slightly at your replies, but luckily for you, Liv raised another question, letting go of the subject. What are we going to do now, though? About that, Liv mentioned, well, there's no doubt too much early for you to hit now. You finished your rehab session for the day. You have no idea what to do. I don't know, Liv. Got any plans? Wait, are you asking me? I don't know either, but let's see. With the ringing of calling filling up the room, you and Liv stopped in your tracks. When you're taking the call, a holograph of Mr. Pierce. Where are you now? In the lounge? Stop whatever you're doing now. If it's not super urgent, I need you to come down the scientist council now. With the back darkness with the bag darker than even under his eyes, speaking serious tone. Oh? I can't get into the details on the line, but I'll fill you on the situation when you're here. Remember to bring Liv with you. Eh? Liv is surprised at the mention of her name. Liv is there with you, right? Bring her with you. Alright. And with it, he hang up. Why does he need us though? I have no clue. I bet it's something important. You rise your seat the moment to appreciate the fact that you're now in much less pain thanks to all your rehabilitation and nutrition management. Can I give you a hand, Commander? Sure. With the support of Liv and the clutch, you make it hand. You really need to stop pampering your commander, Liv. At the lab, you see an Hippocrates. Professor! It's none other than Hippocrates' very personal response for treating the Liv. Standing right before her, astronaut who keeps his eye fixed on the screen in front of him a string compilation. Complement looking reading chart flashpad. Why are they working together when they're different departments? Wait. And judging from the look on your face, I gather you figured out why Asmund asked you and Liv to come down here? Does it have to do with the immersion? Let me guess, you made halfway to the deep connection? Unfortunately, no. But we have received some data from the probes we left in Abstract Frame. Their data mined help further enchant the deep. Done. Looking up to the turn screen, this is where he shows back eyes view and Death Forest. What is this? When you have through life's setback. Of course. Oh, never mind. After bringing Liv to safety, you fill them in on what you're going through. Missing not much as most minutes of detail, with the hope that they'll turn out helpfully repair Liv's mind. And you found 17 mind share. That's something we never found previously. After transferring her conscience back to Eclipse frame, we scanned the improved frame with a signal of rarity frequency of regular beast to see if we're missing anything. Wait, could it be? Spot on. The signal is neglectfully weak, but it's a part of Liv. We took a look at data sending back on the props. The band seems very special and had described them as it's trying to come up with more appropriate layman friendly word. I'll take it over here from her. Here is an example. Do you remember how many people you passed by in the rehab center yesterday? I'll be damned if I did. Correct. See, no one ever remembers how much bread they ate. People don't remember all the information that goes through the brain. We might experience certain things or think about, but don't become last memory. in our brain is exactly like what Professor said. At this particular set of data showing using a same thing, they are part of the liv's mind, ignore, forget, or if you will reject. Based on our analysis, our signal waveform sending back to us, we were able to be more or less pinpoint the location of this mind, sharing the projection this forest. As Mo enlarged the window to the extent of it's almost taking entire screen. Right, in the center of the screen, the standing silhouette of the spiral with scarlet plants running through length. It's a punishing virus. It's only the lightning affected, but doesn't mean can't just ignore it. Which is why we need to clean up the contamination in addition to look into it. One thing though, word you look at Liv, who knows you shouldn't be risking herself over a mission like this with her mind. Still be making her recovery. Don't worry, Commander. Don't worry, Commander. I'm okay. I know what's bothering you. Your safety will always be our top priority. We have an ample amount of time to get yourself ready, unlike the last time. Asmo came up safely triggered the program. And what it does is that if and when things get out of hand, the trigger will activate and force you to wake up. And feel free to pull the trigger yourself if the situation became such that doesn't allow you to continue properly. It won't hurt you, mind, but we will have no choice but to give up on this particular shard. Why does it have to be Liv though? I decided to ask you and Liv for help for another reason. See, this shard and the subconscious mind are similar to both the what makes up the both layers. And feedback of both of you actively there will go long way. Finishing her sentence, I'm gonna say hippo, face turned uneasy. Although I wouldn't go through all of it to get another sample. I have another question. Censoring the negativity vibes in the air, Liv speak out. Yes? How am I supposed to get inside my own mind, sharing with the commander? Wrote you a program that will help you do that. He takes you through sometimes, turning fine though. Your commander, on the other hand, will get in there when you're done fine-tuning. Alright, we'll see you in a bit, Commander. After waving goodbye to you, Liv makes her way to mine and dive chamber, falling right through, and then right when you stand up with your crutch, you are forced to sit down. Professor, Liv is bound to be affected one way or another where she's there her mind shot. What do you mean? It might be her conscience or her personality, but what is it will depends on which part of Liv this particular mind shared is. I mean, to a certain degree, this is the whole thing. It's just like really getting to know yourself. And I was hoping you could take good care of her when you are both in there. Hibur pats your head on the shoulder. Oh dear. No longer feels weightless. You feel the rough bark of tree against your back as you slowly opened your eyes, taking a fragile mud and muddy grass, filtering through the leaves about the sunlight, feeling like a gentle touch to the skin. And Chris called, a bird coming from between trees, traveled through valley distance. feeling a fluffy lamp on the back of your hand. You look down and see there is a chubby chipmunk sitting on it. Then, as though an invisible string were severed, the forest is quiet no more. Turning into a furball, chipmunk roll off the back of your hand before it disappears into deeps of the forest. You stand up and spend some time collecting your thoughts. Live. Your surrounded look exactly the same as what shown you, except you don't see Liv around. He's supposed to come in with you. You probably land a different location from Liv because this is our first time tip. Setback in the lab pop into your brain. It's pop into your mind. It seems like you have to find Liv first before starting your mission. The same way we drawn to what we most familiar with when you looking at a messy picture, there is something that exists between the commander and their construct that connect them. You shut your eyes, try to get a feel for certain something, except you picked up all the chopping, echoing that seems to be taking you somewhere. This is not unlikely looking at the particular fish, the absolute dark expansion of ocean. You know Liv is right around you. Yet, you're totally clueless as to where to begin to looking. And the right then, the shaft light decay descendant. You see a butterfly with two pair of wings, a black strings along its body, parting the green fluorescently. You feel like you know the butterfly. The butterfly makes two circles around you, leaving trace of light snow. You seem to telling you follow it. Drawing the sense of it, you follow the butterfly as it goes. Following the butterfly, you travel to the wide expanse that the forest loses count of the time, and you come across same view. The butterfly fluentry is now your only source of guide down the increasingly see-through path. Right then, you hear the noise coming from up ahead. Someone is coming this way, walking on the grass. Nip? Commander! Her voice coming from behind the tree. Liv picked up her pace across the grass, and there is now, standing in front of you. Oh my god! How pretty she is! Except she looks a little different from what you remember of her. A grand soul black dress enveloped her stretched body, giving her Solomon aura. The jade green wings behind her, however, added a dreamlike quality to her, and seems like as though she might have vanished in the wind if you do so much look away from her for a split second. Commander, please stop looking at me like that. Liv low ahead appears feels self-conscious because of your unwavering gaze. Alright then. Looking around yourself, you can't help but feel flabbergasted by the view of having forgotten about the butterfly that had taken you to here. What's going on here? The Liv you seen is wearing completely different outfit than what she was before coming in. I don't know, I found myself like this when I woke up. Liv reached for the wings behind her as she started checking herself out. Maybe this is something your mind shard is doing to you. Said that the same thing. You had never seen Liv like this before. She's usually just dressed in white and pink. How do you feel though, Commander? Suits you. Liv seemed slightly caught off guard. I meant as ask you if you noticed anything out of the ordinary about yourself too. But still, thank you. I mean, never felt better. It's fortunate that your injury didn't get transferred over to this world. Are you feeling anything else, Liv? Well, I'm not quite sure if this is something my mind shard has done to me, but seeing you all baffled. Liv clapped her hands 3 times, and with it you hear a noise coming from the tree. When you turned your head over and you see countless chipmunks poking their heads out of everywhere. Announced the bushes about the treetop behind the frogs, they're everywhere, with their tiny black eyes traveling back the forth between you and Liv. They seem to have hard time comprehending the sight of the two human beings in the front of them. It's okay, this isn't a bad guy. And with it, the chipmunk all come leaping out. Before you're even able to react, you find yourself drowning in a sea of warm verbal rubbing your face and palm. How did you find out you can do this though? You clapped your hands 3 times when Liv isn't looking your way and nothing happens. It's never been difficult for Liv to draw animals towards her because she's always so gentle, but you know that what you're just witnessing is the one different level than the just being gentle. I was just trying to brush all the dirt off my hand, and then these little baby shows up. Could you get other animals to come in? I did try to change the tempo and the number of the claps, and I even tried mimicking the characters from the TV show for the kids. Liv stopped in a sidetrack. And well, I try all sort of thing, but the only thing I managed to get to is come to me so far is the chipmunk. With her hand is still careless as little furball, Liv's looking away. You carried on speaking as you put on the ground a struggling chipmunk just to fell off your shoulder and was dangling off your chest pocket. Now let's try and bring each other to speed. So when I woke up, when Liv finished bringing up your speed, you seemed to divine the point was actually a good kilometer away from Liv, though you came here almost the same time. Liv was a pair with wings similar to the one the Emerald frame, except it doesn't allow her to fly, presumably because the mind has made it so. It seems like you won't be flying to the center of the forest, and it's not turn to live in on what you've been through. Butterfly, you said? I don't see any when I woke up though. Should we go quickly around scan? No, it's fine. You want to learn more about the butterfly, but it's more too fleeting occurrence for you to spend time when you're supposed to look into the center of the forest. We stick to our plan. I'm analyzing the landscape of the path. Oh, I can't come up with any path that can take us straight to the center of the forest with all the obstacles in the way. That's fine. We'll see what data feedback has to do with us to go. Let's go. The chipman is sitting on you and it jumps off, apparently having sense of that you're about to leave. As they leave, they stuff your pocket full of chestnuts, berry seeds, and petals. Then, waving its tiny claws at Liv, the little chipmunk disappeared into a crack under the rocks. Liv bid farewell with a smile. Doesn't seem like a path is going. I'm trying to come up with a different routine. You thought the place like this would be piece of cake for Liv, except the forest proving to be a lot more complicated than the previous imagining. But the second thought you realize the complication of this forest should it really be a tribute to Liv's scene endless imagination. This is what happens shortly after you and Liv set out. A path through a forest isn't exactly trekking friendly, while your shoe with the extra thick soles are keeping your feet well protected from the sharp stone on the ground. You still need absolutely careful not to slip off this moss. The tree, the grass, the flower, everything around you is same color. The forest has not the same trace of human. Completely lost, and you stay closely behind Liv, and suddenly Liv stops in her track. Hey, what's the matter? This bridge here is a little different from how I imagined it would be. Caught by surprise, Liv seems lost of word. Well, there is only so much radiate magic can I help us do. Climbing over the rock in your way, you looked up the ground, seeing the views upon ahead. See, this is something you need to do. Last few words of the sentence get stuck halfway at your throat when you see what ahead of you. In the forest of you now is Valley, about 20 meters wide, with a bridge above connecting either side of the valley, giving off a crystal shine. The bridge consisting of many discs. The same disc can be seen moving in regular patterns around the bridge, enveloped in their somewhat dark surrounding. They are reminiscent of glowing lamps. With a closer look, you see the disc all over the long tentacle on the semi-transparent belt around tentacles upside down, as though sensitivity they've been looking at some ten- tenacious rise and wild this way. The floating jellyfish is greeting you. Eh? Floating jellyfish? In a forest? What is Liv doing here? Imagination. I never thought we'll run into anything like this. They don't seem to be hostile though. You never saw this coming yourself too, because you didn't run into anything out of the original entire world. seems like a speeding of which time pass isn't the only thing different between minds and the real world. This world seems to be full of strange things that can happen to you at every turn. And the fact that Liv was able to get all the chipmunk to hang around you is but example of that. And with that taken into account, this jellyfish bridge really shouldn't be the big of the surprise. They're not going to dehydrate as soon as they're trying to answer a question. A few enormous jets of water came from gushing out of deep valley, washing away the some jellyfish and make up the bridge. A moment later, however, this place has been taken over by other jellyfish. Having been grazed by water, the bridge is now getting off Lucian shine. Do you know what's going on, Liv? I think they're just making something to do with the story of the magpie bridge that I heard as a kid. Liv seems unaware herself as she speaks. And colonial folklore, magpie bridge is the bridge formed by magpies, squeezing their body together under certain days. And this jellyfish bridge does the bear of resemblance to magpie bridge. Although one of them flies up there in sky while the other swims in the water. Which mind share is? Yes, this particular mind share probably has to do with all the fairy tales I heard. We might experience certain things or think about them, but they don't become lost memories in our brain. It's exactly like what professors said, and this particular set of data is showing us some same thing. They are part of the Liv's mind. You don't forget, or if you will reject. Said about this shard matches what you're saying. People don't usually remember the fairy tale they hear at screen. Do you find me childish now, Commander? There's nothing wrong in being childish though. No, not at all. Liv is gentle and doesn't talk a whole alone, but she never failed to look after the people around her whenever she can. She's mature in every sense of the word. Liv lets out a sign of relief of what she said. Should I try to come up with a different route, Commander? What's your take? Let's just run across it. Liv nods. Liv approves that you step on the semi-transfer bell of the jellyfish, all the while feeling flamery and bouncy at the time. All good. Only need to be stay low and go at that pace. Commander, come back now. With it, Liv grab hold of your hand, except it's too late now. The bell crumbled down before construction in way and then hunched up. Before you know what just happened, you find yourself Liv coming face with a glowing jellyfish in the air. Although you can't really for life of tell where its eyes are. Before you begin falling through the air, however, the jellyfish whip out one of these belts and grab around you and Liv. Except the combination of weight of you and Liv seem too heavy, sending the jellyfish down into straight fall into parachute with a hole. Fortunately, another jellyfish come to your rescue in time in the belt. Working together, the two jellyfish float back once again. At the same time, the grip of belt growing tighter, still around you, Liv. What is this thing? You feel something as soft as a silk against your back. My wings. Are they squashing? Are they squashed? Commander? From behind you, Liv now spoke in a tone so choppy and low, and you can barely make out her word, every last one, which seems to be come out a last strain of her being. tied up tightly back to back. However, you can't see Liv's face. Some of you seem hearing hissing on the stream. Sorry. That's fine, but I think this is exactly how we're supposed to cross the village. Liv is right, because you can see the shiny jellyfish and its friend are transporting the two of you to the other side of the village. From the corner of the eye, you can see the jellyfish stepping on at the very beginning is clean its belt of the dirt, and it's using the dwarf coming off chunk of moss that's holding with its tentacle. When it's done grooming itself, the jellyfish does look slightly shinier than it did just a minute ago. Is it trying to push itself? I don't think they're trying to build a bridge cuddling up together. I think they're trying to rest. With a look, you see Liv is right. The jellyfish that you attentively thought was acting as a bridge praise doesn't shine as brightly, but its bell goes up and down ever so faintly. It appears to be under the light sleeve. So what the jellyfish did to me just now when I stepped on it, well, that was probably the jellyfish feels grumpy waking up. Oh yeah. Liv sound eased, sense of no harm coming from jellyfish. But then again, your surroundings started to growing dark the moment that you felt hard against the bottom of your feet, and the grip around you let go. Turning around, you see that jellyfish is still there, and now it's trying to flatten Liv's crumbled wings. Thank you all, but don't worry about it. The jellyfish is, however, stay where it is. Its tentacle obviously not the most ideal of tools with which to flatter a crease. Let me fix them for you. Wait, what the? But why are you? I'm sure they won't let us go if I don't do it. Looking up, you see that jellyfish is still busy trying to fix Liv's wings, and particularly responsible for it anyway. Well then, if you insist. Bit by bit, you flatten the crease of the cliffin like a wings, and gently light coming off the jellyfish. Then looking at the jellyfish, then Liv's wings. Now they being slowly flattened back at the previous stage. You opened your eyes to speak. This is just amazing. This doesn't happen in real life though. But even with everything that seemed to be standing in our way, people have amazing breakthrough and made impossible possible. Gravity tries to hold human down, but we found a way to reach the sky, even the furthest beyond. Death stood us behind, but technology made it possible for us to connect each whenever one. Do you think there is a way for us to make what we see here possible then? The jellyfish form colorfully, fantastic view around you beyond description. Somewhere down the road, yes. It might be a little far-fetched fancy, but it's nothing impossible, so as long as there's a people daunted. You flattered the last increase of Liv's wings, although still unable to take Liv through the skirts and now barely swallow scars. Liv's wing can open up again nonetheless. This is no wonderful thing, and this is no word of time and effort. This is what the forest seemed to be mumbling as breeze gently ruffling the leaves. Aww. Okay, one more and then I... Holding on the dandelions, you made across the bubbly swamp. Making it through the grass maze was almost too easy with Liv, scanning the radius. Crossing the rushing river was a breeze too, with the river crab carrying it back. You and Liv came the entryway without breaking so much sweat. There are true eye-openers, Liv. The view around you seems to grow wider still. The further into the forest you and Liv travel. Please just stop. With the view unfurling around, both of you and Liv appeared more embarrassing than nostalgic. She covers her now blushing face, yet her equally red eyes given away. When you and Liv reach an empty ground in the forest, you seen a lion sheep laying on their frame. So their bodies taking a shape of a ball, and they are, to surprise, amazingly agitated. And right in the middle of the sheep. Right in the middle of the sheep is saddles, right when the sheep hops over saddles. They come over to next to the sheep. Then comes that comes in the third one. Eventually all the turn into light, rhythmically lullaby. I see you counting sheep in bed as a kid, huh? Yes, I did. Liv slowly regained her composure as she's looking nostalgically at the sheep. I counted them one at a time when I couldn't fall asleep. Liv says with a smile as she recalled her childhood. And sometimes I end up having even more trouble sleeping because I was so focused on counting them. Have you experienced it? You actually did count to help yourself fall asleep as a kid, with all the pent-up energy you in. But as an adult, you now spend time trying not to fall asleep, then coming up with a way you help yourself asleep. Why sleep though? Everyone counts gold, no? Because sheep are cute. I actually am a big fan of sheep, and even had a sheep back home when I was a kid. You turn your gaze at the line of sheep, while stretching as far out as possible, came along the horizon all the way to the west. As a big fan with burning passion too, you decide to keep these words to yourself so Liv wouldn't overheat blushing. You try to hurt the sheep somewhere, yet judging from the fact that none of them even batted their eyes, you know your efforts are prevail futile. Unfortunately, it doesn't seem like you're moving for it until you figure out the pattern. And just look at this. Looking up, you see a sky has gone from the previous white and blue to the current tangerine. A tail tall sign 9/4 appear. Should we find a place to rest for a day, Commander? While everything happened so far has taken place the projection of my chair, you feel everything bit as worn out as thought you've been going through the days the real world. There is, the fact, another reason to your making this decision. Well, it's not just because the sun is setting though, see. I'm sure you're heading a lot of spooky story as a kid, right? Oh god. It's a shark. Oh, it's listen, it's chase, and it's prey. It's the most fierce predator in the dark forest, ready to prey of all the soul's life. Listen as its drooling burn through the ground and having a fallen mouth of big that takes up over half a monster body. Look, it will never let you go once it has a murderer eyes upon you. So run, run as fast as you can, until you reach at the place that you can shelter you. I'm going to eat every last kid that refused to sleep. Holy, that's creepy with a capital C. I thought it would be something scarier. To your surprise, however, the predator isn't some terrifying monster, rather it's adorable plushie. I'm not scary at all, but I still eat kids who refuse to go to sleep. Ooh! Seeing the shark plushie leaves, you and Liv poke your head out the bush. Was that something that you scared when you were a kid? Wait, did that happen to you? I heard stories like that. Monsters that claim you eat up if you don't go to sleep in time, huh? Seems like it's all-time classic. The only difference is that scary monster is that you usually get these stories rather than a adorable plushie. You approach it because it seems harmless, though except it's putting up on a hostile front a moment since you're present. It wasn't scary at all. Are you talking about the plushie just now? Nodding your head, you start telling Liv about tricking the grown-ups used to be fooled you around when you were a kid. Did you ever feel scared? Right, and then you hear the voice bounce, There you are! Kids who refuse to go to sleep! Run! There's no point turning around because you know exactly where it's from and the footsteps shouting. I think we should split up, Commander. Run away from the shark plushie. Liv once again make the same suggestion. No. And once again you turn down our suggestion. But I only dragged you down the way I am. And you know exactly what Liv's talking about. Her wings with the flourishes makes it almost too easy to spot them in the darkness. You can't just keep running though. Right, there's something land on your shoulder this week. The chipmunk before. While the flickering off, you stop just in time. With the firmware coming off Liv's wings, you take good care of the chipmunk. And that's when you see another chipmunk on the shoulder. Hurry up and hide yourself. Where you're trying to take us. One of the chipmunk points the claw in a certain direction. Nodding at each other, you and Liv run into the chipmunk just to point. Gone. They're gone. Woo! Passing you by, the cry of the shark plushie disappears into distance. This place seems safe. When you open the door of the shelter, Liv pokes her head from the other side. You are now hiding the Livs inside two gargantuan peas pots. How did the chipmunk find us though? I think they probably found us through the of your wings. You point at the chipmunk, which are chasing the butterflies. The fluorescence might have been the catch of all the monsters' eye in the dark. But it's also stand upon investigation begins with your friends. What would you have done though if they never shown up? I would have done something before we even tried out. Yeah, you should rest too. I think I'll just, correct me if I'm wrong, but you're supposed to rest on time powerful reanimation. You cut Liv off before she finished speaking. I can't just rest without I want it inside my mind. Open the peace pot Liv is facing. She's meat in your arm. But I'll stay. But still I'll try to get some sleep, Commander. The moonlight's cold and anything but bright, but it shows you perfectly in eyes. Her eyes are gentle as they are. Yet this moment you can feel it suddenly rubbing up from deep within you. Look, Liv, you need to close your eyes before you get full asleep. Alright then. Probably picking up on your uneasy, Liv closed her eyes like a good kid with a stargaze gone, and all that left around you is the quiet air. Then a few minutes later, Liv asked you quietly, "Having a hard time falling asleep, Commander?" "I never for a life of me dreaming of sleeping in the forest of the fairy tale." "The forest of fairy tale, huh? So, what was your childhood like?" Curiously, voice lingered by your ear. You can't be 100% sure wherever all things you believe are part of your childhood, but relive your part, though you decided your mom was certain. With it, the conversation went from monologue to dialogue, with no end in sight. Your surrounded four quietly still pass, and cries of the insect, loud and clear until the moment had all died out. The two of you grown sleepy as you carry chit-chat in the dark. Then goes by miles. A second you laugh at chat, and you know both are feeling right moment sleeping to sleep. "I love to learn about you, more about you, Commander, but guess it's time for bed." Grows distant as you grow drowsy. "Tell me about your phone next time." The words come out to your mouth calmly. "Me? I barely remember anything though. And the thing I do still remember probably won't ain't too interesting. Well, anything we found so far. But you don't need further proof because the place you're about to fall asleep as if none other than to live childhood itself. Seems say otherwise. I'll make sure I'll find it for you. Tell me more about yourself when I found it." You don't remember if you actually said those words before falling up. What happened during the day seemed to spice up your dream. Following the group of the migrant sheep you ride spired that for which set off the journey in the first place. Looking up and seeing the tip of the spout through drenching the scarlet, you feel drowned. You take a step forward over the mud on the grass. Then, with a sharp pain across your forehead, the world as you see it turns blood red. The wool of the sheep tears away, and a corrupted underneath, while spiral collapse into crimson figure. This is your memory from the last rescue mission. You tried to make yourself up through the sea of the corrupted, but the crimson figure flashed right through you. Before chaos torn you apart, the only thing you saw the world blurred away was a little white bird. Reveal you notice something different. You feel like you're missing something, something that lies right before where your eyes and the light can reach. When did the blood-soaked long sword leave your body? When did the crimson figure go? Is there something behind you? Behind the white bird? Turn around, and there's nothing but the pitch darkness. Jesus, Chief, what's going on? All this year walking, waking up naturally with the bio clock have made an alarm clock dispel the item to you. As you set up and rub your temple, the blanket takes the course of the gravity, weighting the blanket. When you open your eyes and it hits that you, instead of peaceful, you are now in a cozy room. Liv, the room is minimized decoration, and Liv is nowhere to see. Taking not even a single moment to surveil the room or think about how you got here the first, you open the door and start looking for it. Hey, good morning. Did you have coffee soup? A woman you never seen before standing in his hallway with a wooden tray, intentionally caught by surprise. She quickly regained her gentle smile. You hunch that she doesn't intentionally hurt you, and hunch often the most reliable in the mind. Hi, what's your name? Call me Cinderella. I was with a friend just now. Does does she happen to be here too? Then the younger lady, right? She's in the room right across. Liv, are you there? Knocked the door real hard, but no response. Is she the type that struggles to wake up? Seeing that you shaking your head, Cinderella hesitated for the moment and she opened the door. Um, Liv! You're no stranger what happened. The system migrate out of habit. You want to take out of your connection cable, but it's hitting you already in the lift mode. Cinderella dashed up to Liv's bed. She's fine now. What the heck? Okay, be back and just it's a snack. Okay, I think I need to go now. I'll stream a bit longer next stream. Sorry. So yeah. I'll catch you next stream. Bye guys.